building again. Yes. What happened there, Pooch? How do? So basically here, got some truck stuff. Back into the building again, finally. Slowly getting there. Things are working out a little bit. Still waiting on the roof, the loft. It were leaking down the chimney breast, causing loads of problems. But we can't really do much or decorate and stuff until the roof's been done, which should have been done in summer. But never mind, got me centre space to build from, and got all my truck stuff back out. Basically here, what you can see is, if you remember, I think probably one of the last truck videos or truck builds I did was the tri-drive, Grandola, Kingola, and I put the third axle in and put the custom coffin cab on and stuff like that. Well, my friend's decided he's having it off me, but wants it like to his spec, but keeping the tri-drive. So yeah, basically I'm gonna see about converting the tri-drive to a tipper. We do have a day cab, so I've already been making preparations. I have just been plodding on a little bit in my own time and kind of forgot about the camera. So basically for this, just took a Grandola, made a chop, cut the sleeper off, and then we was left with sleeper and a cab. Just as I've done with my rusty truck and the other one. I do need to get the back door glued in permanently. I've done a cut and shut on a back door. And then we're going to fill that in and smooth all that out. The other thing I've been doing is all the plastic parts, the alloys, anything that was chrome, exhaust, you name it, every little item, by soaking all that in Mr. Muscle overnight in a sealed container. Wake up in the morning, the chrome's gone, just squirt it, leave it, job done. And then it just requires a really good clean, good rinse off, get all them contaminants and other greases, chemicals and whatnots. Got all the tyres and stuff cleaned up, because if you remember, I think the first time I took it out, I took it through the woods with weights on a low loader. The tri-drive chassis itself, got all that cleaned back up, and then the tri-drive is ready to go. There's my custom Grandola, I'd like to get that out of the way now. And then I've been gathering bits of parts and stuff to put together some more projects for the future. Much of the preparation as to getting this ready, I have done. A little bit of yoo-hoo. Hopefully this won't be my build area for much longer. Or it might be. So before I actually do start with the filling, I am just going to put some little bits of like styrene at the back of the door on the insides, just so it stops any filler seeping through into the cab, keeps it all in one place. So we're just going to fill these gaps, just using some Humbrol model filler and all these little bits and these little like holes here and there, until we've got just a nice smooth back of the cab. And we're just going to start filling cracks. And then once this is all on and in everywhere I want it, I'm going to leave it overnight at least. So I think you'll get the idea of what I'm doing here. The back filled and around the roof. It's quite late in the afternoon now, so I'll give that until the morning, and then we can sand it back, have a see, and then possibly refill if need be. And once that's out of the way, we can then get on to priming, painting, etc., and getting the whole thing put back together. Now I did forget to mention, I originally locked the diffs on these, but have since unlocked them. As he's going to be using it indoors at a layout and things like that, whereas I had it for like the woods and off-road and gravel and everything else. But for carpets and stuff, it's just going to push straight, so we've unlocked those. Right, so the roof, the back, is dried with the filler, and now we're just going to file away, just nice and gently, You see all the dust collecting on the failure here. That's now all sanded down. There were a couple of spots here and kind of adjacent to this one. That one had like kind of picked out a bit in places. There's just a tiny bit there and a bit there, and there is another little hole that's appeared there which I'll fill. Once filler's dried again, we'll get them sanded out, see how it's looking, and that'll give me a bit more of an idea on where I shall be filling next, should it be required to be filled anymore. But we want it as smooth as possible. I got the filler primer on there everywhere, and then I've given it a flatten down, and there was just a couple of imperfections like a scratch there which I filled. It came out relatively smooth rather than going over it with filler, as it was just like a couple of pinholes in the filler which really needed filling. There was no need to use the filler which I'd used. You just end up with a lot of waste. However, this Vallejo filler, I can just squeeze a tiny little blob out with that. And then, for example, I don't know if the camera's going to pick these up, but there is a couple of little pinholes which were there, the little white spots. And all I would do is pop the filler on the pinholes and then just rub that in with my fingers, just making sure it's in there. It's going to need at least 24 hours to cure before I sand it. So we'll leave that for now, and then I can get that sanded. And while I was at it with the filler and stuff like that, I got my other Kenworth grand hauler, my stretch one, which I was working on, looking to get that finished now. So, but yes, there will be videos coming on that and other stuff. I'm really enjoying being back building. So the filler had cured, gone off, and got it all sanded back down. So I'll just give the rear of the cab another blast with the filler prime, and I can let that dry, flatten down the whole cab, and primer then, ready for paint and everything. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Come out as planned, but yeah, super happy with that. So now we're just flattening down the paint, get through a lot of this filler primer, and through the whole cab. This also removes any overspray and just puts a nice key into it for the primer to adhere to. So just get some primer on the cab, then I can free up the space to get all the other parts on. But just a light first coat, dusting it on, and then we'll come and put a slightly heavier coat on. Metal parts we are just going to etch prime using etch primer. Again, light coat. So everything's all primed, ready to go. I'll get that painted up in the morning and leave these overnight now as it's gone dark outside. And I did do the inside of the cab red, just because it will be having a red pinstripe in the paint. So it just gives a little more red accent to it. But yeah, that's ready for paint now. So a beautiful morning out in the shed, and just start getting these first coats of black. So just get these wheels and everything else done. So I'll go get the rest of the parts, first coat everything as we've done here, give it half hour or so, blast the second coat on, and then we're ready for clear coat. Booyah! Second coat. I'll just let all that dry now. Time for the clear coat now. I remembered my massless tie. A bit toxic paint. So I'm just going to crack on getting these clear coated now. So I am going to leave that one there for now. As you can see, we still need to do the cab, but we are waiting on another paint because it is going to be a couple of different colours with a pinstriping. Pretty much all black, bar a bit of silver and red, which will be going in to just break it up. The arches, I am going to do them with a Halford's lacquer. I used the PMA lacquer, never used it before, but I'm not that impressed with it. Luckily we've not used it on the bigger parts like the cab and the arches, but all the little bits are away now, waiting to go on. They're all painted black and stuff. All the little bits like the mirrors and the top bits, I'll probably do those with an airbrush rather than an aerosol, just then there's less waste. I think the intention for this from the start was originally to have it murder black, but then it come up with another idea, as we do with this hobby. As I say, we'll come back and we'll finish the cab and then get all that bit put back together and stuff. Then that's that one complete. Then it's just a case of having the tipper body made and then installing that, which will be a video later down the line because we're not going to have the tipper like tomorrow or the day after. Could be a short while before we get that, so I can't really do anything more till that comes. But I do have other projects to start cracking on with and things. Absolutely piles of Mustang stuff here, so that will be coming back to the channel. Can start getting that out of the way. But yeah, if you like the video and you want to see more, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that. And I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao for now, guys.